Good morning, everyone. I'm Caroline Daniel. I'm editor of the Weekend Financial Times, but I'm actually here as my capacity as a IPPR trustee. I'm delighted you all to the launch of the IPPR's independent report on the condition of Britain, Strategies for Social Renewal. This report builds on the groundbreaking work done 20 years ago by the Commission on Social Justice. That report set the framework for New Labour. Tony Blair indeed described it as essential reading for everyone who wants a new way forward for this country. We hope this report will do the same. As John Cruddas put it earlier this week, the condition of Britain will define social policy in the coming decade and not just for the left. Or, as Mary Riddell slightly more effusively put it, this tome is not so much a think tank study as a Magna Carta for social democracy in the 21st century. Well, just as David Cameron has encouraged all of us this week to go back to our Magna Cartas and riffle through them, I'm hoping that everyone will read this report too. With that, I'd like to introduce Ed Miliband, Leader of the Opposition, to launch the report. He's going to speak for about 20 minutes, then he's going to take his own question and answers, then he'll be leaving. Nick Pearce will then be launching the report, talking through the highlights. John Cruddas and Rachel Reeves will be here throughout. And we hope very much that you enjoy the morning. Thank you very much for that. Over to Ed Miliband.
Caroline, thank you very much. And friends, can I start by saying that it is a huge pleasure to be here launching this report, along with Rachel Reeves, our Shadow Work and Pensions Secretary, and John Cruddas, the head of our policy review. IPPR will be known to many of you for its fantastic work over the years on a whole range of policy issues that our country faces. And they've done it again with this important report. So I want to begin by thanking the report's authors, Kate Lawton, Graham Cook, and Nick Pearce, for the work they've done. Perhaps you'll join me in showing your appreciation for their work. I also want to thank all of those voluntary group leaders, campaigners and community organisers, many of whom are here today, who have helped IPPR with their work. Now, the issue that motivates this report is the same issue that brought me into politics. It's a belief that deep inequalities of income, wealth and power in our country are damaging, wrong and can be tackled. And in each generation, we must seek to tackle these inequalities. And today, this belief, for me, means there is one question overriding all others that matters to the future of this country. It's a question that goes beyond one party, one government, or even one election. It is a question that countries all around the world are grappling with. It's this question: how can we make the country work not just for a few, but for the security and success of ordinary families once again? Now, when I went around the country in the local elections, so many people told me that the country didn't work for them. And they were talking, as this report does, about the basic fundamentals of work, family and community. Things many people at the top of our society take for granted. The basic bargain that if you work hard, there will be a degree of security, an ability to make ends meet, has been broken. Low paid, low skill, insecure work that doesn't give people any sense of fulfillment. That is the reality for millions of people in our country. And that is not good enough for me, and it is not good enough for Britain either. For the first time in generations, parents from all types of background fear their children will do worse than them. That is not good enough for me, and it is not good enough for Britain. And all around this country, people are saying that they're doing the right thing, but they don't seem to be rewarded anymore. Now, for every party, in everything, for our party, in everything we do, in every reform we make, in every decision we take, in opposition and in government, our job is to meet that challenge. And no vested interest, no orthodoxy should stop us changing the country for this cause. I think the importance of this report is that it shows there is a distinctive and compelling answer to addressing this issue, in particular when it comes to our welfare state. And the report shows, contrary to what many people would believe, that we can change things at a time of scarcity. We know the next Labour government won't have money to spend. That's why this report is so important, because it offers the way towards solutions. Now, I think it starts with work and the nature of work in our country. The generational question I just talked about insecure, low-paid work and what we do about it. This is a massive issue. And it starts with young people. You know, for decades, we've known that young people just aren't getting the opportunities they need. Young people with no or poor qualifications are entering adulthood facing little chance of getting on. But it hasn't been addressed. Indeed, the perversity of the system means that the one thing we most discourage young people from doing is getting the skills they need for a decent career. Because we tell them they should sign on for benefits, not sign up for proper training. And we say at the same time to those who go to university that they are entitled to financial support to improve their skills and qualifications. There can be no better example of a divided country which seems to value the 50% of our young people who go to university, but not the 50% of our young people who don't go to university. It's about people like Danny that I talked to yesterday. I talked to him on the phone and I asked him about his own experience. And I asked him whether the job centre had been any good at helping him into training. And his answer? The job centre had been completely useless, in his words. That is about the rules and the system and the way the system is stacked against him and hundreds of thousands of young people like him. Now, how can he have faith in the system when that happens? It is no wonder that people feel that politics doesn't serve them. Again, it is not good enough for me and it is not good enough for our country. And why? Because we can't succeed as a country with unskilled young people going from benefits to low-paid work and back onto benefits again without proper skills. It doesn't give business the productive workforce they need, and it costs the taxpayer billions of pounds in lower productivity and extra welfare spending. So we're going to change it. And what the proposals in this report show is that we can address these issues and reform welfare in a way that is progressive and not punitive. And a Labour government will get young people to sign up for training, not sign on for benefits. So for 18 to 21-year-olds, we will replace Job Seekers Allowance with a new youth allowance, an allowance dependent on young people being in training and targeted at those who most need it. These are the right principles. Britain's young people who don't have the skills they need for work should be in training and not on benefits. We should abolish the limit, the 16-hour limit on training that has for decades held young people back. And to pay for these changes in tough times, we should say young people will be entitled to financial support only if they really need it, assessed on the basis of parental income, as we do for those young people who go to university. This is the right thing to do, and it doesn't cost money, it saves money. So with this proposal and others like it, this report says to those worried about work in Britain and the generational challenge we face that there are answers, and we can restore the link between hard work and reward. But to properly reward hard work and effort, we also need contribution to be at the heart of our welfare system. You know, we talk a lot in this country about the problem of people getting something for nothing, and we're right to do so. But there is a problem that politicians rarely talk about, and that is the problem of people getting nothing for something. How many times have I heard people say over the years, I've paid into the system, but when the time came and I really needed help, I didn't get anything back. Rewarding contribution was in fact a key principle of the Beveridge report, and it is a key intuition of the British people about what a welfare system would look like. But it is a principle that has been forgotten by governments of both parties. Aside from pensions, less than 1/10 of social security spending now goes on entitlements that are based on contribution. In my view, we should not allow the contributory principle to recede further. Instead, we should strengthen it. That's why, as one example, the next Labour government will change the way job seekers' allowance works, to make sure that someone who's been working for years and years, paying into the system, gets more help if they lose their job than someone who's just been working for a couple of years. And will pay for it, not by spending more money in social security, by extending the length of time people need to work in order to qualify. And this report faces up to the tough reality that my party understands. We won't be able to ensure the security and success of ordinary families, the challenge I described at the beginning, with higher benefit spending in the years ahead. Instead, we must do so by tackling problems at source. That's why we've set out proposals to tackle low pay, increasing the minimum wage, saving money on benefits, supporting childcare to help mums and dads get back to work, reducing the costs of worklessness. And this report also shows how we can start to tackle a historic problem in Britain, a problem which has developed over decades. A housing benefit bill going up and up, with investment in housing falling further and further. Higher housing benefit spending is not a sign of progressive success. It's a sign of failure. And again in this report, it shows the right vision for how we can start to turn this round. Moving from benefits to bricks, as they put it, by empowering local authorities to use the money they can save on housing benefit to start building homes again in our country. And I believe this report is right also to tackle the generational challenge our country faces of inequality, and to do so in a way that devolves power, not by pulling levers at the centre. We can't make the country work for people again by relying on Whitehall and Westminster. We can only do it by devolving power. Whether it's by getting our young people back to work, creating the jobs of the future, supporting business, all of these things need to be done at a local level. And in public services, giving more powers to parents in shaping the future of their schools, and patients in shaping the future of their hospitals, people-powered public services. That's why devolving power is a key part of this report and other reports that are being published in the coming months. Let me just also say this. Anyone looking to bring change to Britain today is confronted with a huge problem. I think people's desire for change is enormous, just as it was at the time of the Beveridge Report in the 1940s. But their belief that this change is possible has been profoundly shaken. There is a deep sense of pessimism about whether Westminster politics, or anyone within a million miles of it, has any of the answers. People see a country that doesn't work for them and hasn't done so for a long time, and they believe nobody really gets it. And then add to that, it's not just that people think the problems are huge, it's that they don't believe they can be solved because of the financial challenges the country faces. That is the task that we face. I know we must meet the cause of our time, the cause I came into politics for, while confronting a fiscal situation the like of which we haven't seen for generations. The result of a financial crash, the like of which none of us had ever seen. What this report shows is that we do have answers, distinctive answers that are right for this time. Above all, this situation means we can't just hope to make do and mend. We can't just borrow and spend money to paper over the cracks. The old way of doing things won't work anymore. Instead, we need big, far-reaching reform, which means big changes, not big spending. Reform that can reshape our economy so that hard work is rewarded again. Rebuild our society so the next generation does better than the last. And change our country so the British people feel it is run again according to their values. Now, that kind of reform is going to be tough. No one said it would be easy. I know that, and you know that. But it is a cause worth fighting for. It is the way we change Britain. That is our mission. That is what the condition of Britain teaches us. And I congratulate IPPR on their report. Thank you very much.